I sincerely welcome you. Okay, I think, can you hear me? Can you hear me, please? Now,
Yes,
okay.
just now.
Which means the mic was off. So let us pray again. Father, we are grateful to you. We thank you. We honor you. Today is another beautiful Sunday you have made, another beautiful week. You have helped us thus far, and we know that you will continuously help us. We can't thank you enough. The peace you gave, the joy you restored, the puzzles you solved for us, the deliverance you gave us. People travel from one place to the other, and you kept them, and you let them reach their destinations in peace. Father, for that we are grateful. Tonight is another beautiful night. I want to thank you for having gathered us again. Teach us by your Spirit, and at the end, let every honor be ascribed unto you and to you alone in Jesus' name. Amen. Praise the Lord. Good evening, good morning, good night, wherever you are joining me from. My name is Dr.Favour, Afoma, and by God's grace, I have a PhD in guidance and counseling with psychology from the University of Lagos. That is 14 years ago. In 2017, the Lord called me to this Ministry of Health and Wellness. And in 2018, he gave us Uncle Food Challenge, where we go without eating anything cooked in fire by fire through fire. We will observe that this January, though many of us are engaging in one fast or the other, but we still do that. And then in 2019, the Lord told me to start this program, Great Life with Dr. Afoma. If you are joining us for the first time, we sincerely welcome you. If you're a returning participant, we appreciate you and we celebrate you. You are the reason why we keep going. This is our episode 272. For 272 times, the Lord has helped us thus far, and we are grateful. So I want to wish you again a happy, happy, happy new year, because the year is still new. One of the things you do this year, check your life very well. Ensure that nothing disturbs your peace. The peace of God in your life, nothing should tamper with it, no matter what that thing is. So I sincerely welcome you. Thank you for joining me on episode 272. My name once again is Dr.Favour Afoma. God bless you for joining. Now, today, last week we began a series, The Mountain is You. But before then, there is a trending issue all over the world emanating from Nigeria about somebody that dismembered another person. People were saying that that girl is not the man's girlfriend. The main boyfriend later spoke, and they were insinuating, allegedly, that she was a victim of maybe one chance, and she was kidnapped and killed. You know, it's not that somebody killed her, that's the disturbing issue, but the way she was killed. Somebody told me that she knew the guy, the Ajayi, Timilayi Ajayi, that she knew him one-on-one. That they said that he ate up the intestine, cooked the intestine, the breasts were not there, private parts were not there, and then she deboned her. You know what you mean by deboning. If you have seen where butchers do meat, the way they cut out the flesh from the bone. So it was a gory sight and a very disturbing issue. So before we go on, I want to appeal to us. When you are going out, pray. Especially when you are not going with your vehicle. Pray that you don't enter into the hands of these devils. Pray and encourage your children wherever they are going to, let them tell somebody else where they are going to, so that in the event of anything, they will know where to look out for them. We sincerely pray for for comfort on the family of that young girl. I heard the father died sometime last year, 2024, and the mother is alive. Pray that God will help her, comfort her, because it's a sight that is a traumatizing sight. I don't know her. I'm traumatized the way I am. Talk less of people that know her, her sisters, her uncle, and the rest of her friends. And she's a promising young lady that is observing her a national youth service in Abuja. So we pray that her soul finds rest, and then justice will be done to whosoever that took life according to the laws of this nation. So I sincerely thank you for joining. Today is our episode 272, and God has helped us thus far. Last week, we began a series. We did the introductory part of it. The mountain is you. The mountain is you. And we established some things last week. We said your mountain is the block between you and the life you want to live. Facing it is also the only path to your freedom and becoming. Many of us shy away from certain things. We don't want to face certain things because we self-sabotage ourselves. There is somebody that what she's doing is resonating strongly with this topic because she chose to take her destiny in her hands, even relocated from Lagos State. And you see her coming up, you see her doing well, you see her, life is about getting fulfillment in what you are doing. So I thank you so much for joining. If you are hearing me, or you can hear me clearly and you can see me, please can you indicate by typing 222 on the chat. Wonderful. Thank you for the feedback. The mountain is you. We are now going to cruise, but we are going to see how the mountain is us. You must now learn agility, resilience, and self-understanding. I'm just reading part of the concluding part of the last week's edition. You must change completely, never to be the same again. The mountain that stands in front of you is the calling of your life. Is the calling of your life. Many people think until they call them to the pulpit to give the microphone to speak, that is when they have their calling. Your calling could be in the things you do in your community, the things you do in your house, the things you do in the circle of your friends. You must not be called to a pulpit ministry. I don't know whether you're getting me. You must not be ordained as a bishop or a reverend or a pastor or a GO. Everybody has a calling of God in his or her life. Have you tried to identify the calling? Now, your purpose for being here is part of who you are. If I mention Coca-Cola, for example, what comes to your mind? Drink. If I mention Adidas, what comes to your mind? Maybe sneakers or their sportswear. If I mention Davido, what comes to your mind? Music. If I mention Tony Elumelu, what comes to your mind? Banking sector. If I mention Dangote, what comes to your mind? So many things. If I mention somebody like Bishop David Oyedepo, what comes to your mind? Church and ministry. So if they mention you, what comes to your mind? What comes to people's mind? Until people begin to know you for one thing or two things, you have not entered into that calling. People must know. If they mention me now, Dr. Afoma Mulisa, what comes to your mind? Some people will say exercise. Some people will say fitness. Some people will say wellness. Some people will say counselor. Some people will say she's giving. But there is something attached to my name. Before now, there was nothing attached to my name. I want you, as we go on to this topic, I want you to begin to examine yourself. Don't allow yourself to self-sabotage you. Because one of the things that happen to us, we allow what we call self-sabotage. Our mind will tell us we are not good. Our mind will tell us we are not qualified. Our mind will tell us, no, it can't be you. Because the society has placed a kind of embargo on us. When the Lord called me to this ministry in 2017, I objected. And my objection were valid. They were valid things. I don't have money. I don't have good house to start with. Husband, I know cuckoo get for my side. So many things were against me. But the Lord said, I don't call the qualified. I called and I qualify. So it is God that will qualify you, but you yourself, you have to be ready. You have to be available. God doesn't use people that are not available. Are you available? In this 2025, what is it in your life about you that you want to explore? One of the things you do in this year is to engage in self-development and self-appraisal and self-evaluation and self-assessment. Forget about what people are saying about you. You may not look like it now. You may not appear the way the society wants you to appear, or the people want you to appear. But just focus on who you are. As at the moment you discover you begin to live optimally. I tell you the truth. You begin to live well. You begin to be fulfilled. Many people, have you not seen people, they gather all the money, they have all the money, but then they are not fulfilled. They are not satisfied. The life they are living is not, they sweet them. As they sweet us, is your life bringing joy to you? Are you allowing people around you, circumstances around you to kind of herald what you get? I tell people, you may not control what comes to you, but you have the power to control your responses to them. Something may happen to you. You have to have the willpower to say this thing, you can't stop me. Many people are fasting in this year, 2025 now. So many people started last 2 weeks. They will be ending next Sunday. Some people will start tomorrow. They will end maybe February. So many prayer conferences going on. Let me be honest with you. I have done all those. If you pray prayer, do fasting without going inwards, you won't change. Nothing will change. Because except something changes in you, inside of you, nothing will change around you. Nothing will change around you. I don't know whether you are following me on this conversation. If you do, please can you type a 333 on the chat? And I want you to pay attention. Many of us don't pay attention. When things come to us, we don't even pay attention. We don't even know that these things, they are injurious to our health. They are injurious to our life. They are injurious to our calling, and they are injurious to our progress. For you to go forward in 2025, you must be intentional. Intentionality must be there. You have to look around things in your life. I am telling you, look inward around you. You see, an Igbo adage says that something that destroys garden egg is inside garden egg. I don't know how many of you understand it. Something that if you may get a garden egg, the garden egg will be very smooth, like this bottle of oil. But cut it open, you will see ant like this. inside. It is decayed. So I want you to check your life. Is there anything that you are doing that is sabotaging you without you knowing? That is why we are discussing this book called The Mountain is You. Once again, I thank you sincerely, most sincerely for coming. This is Great Life with Dr. Afoma, and Great Life airs every Sunday evening, 8 p.m. Nigerian time. I thank you for joining across the world. Thank you. Good night, good morning, good evening, and good afternoon. Tonight, we are starting from the chapter 1. It's a series. We will take it level by level. We won't rush it. We will take it the way we took the healthy boundaries and the habits of the millionaires and rich people's habits. You know, we took time. I tell you, every day when I finish this program, I listen to myself. I still take note from me, because the note I took when coming, I may say something that is not in the note. All these things I've said now, they are not even in the note. You see? So please, I want you to pay attention. Don't just come here for ritual purposes. You come. If I don't come now, Dr. Afoma will say I didn't come. Come because it is Dr. Afoma's desire that you do well. Anybody that is close to me knows that I want people to advance. I want people to do well. I want people to live optimally. I want people to be joyful, because anything, you see, joy is a force. And any circumstance that will truncate your joy, don't allow it, because joy is a force on its own. Tonight, we are going deeper now. The Mountain is You. That's the name of the book. The Mountain is You. Just last week, I established what the mountain looks like. It can be spiritual awakening. It can be like when the children of Israel, they were with Abraham on their way from Egypt to the Canaan land. They came to one mountain and they stood there. And the Lord said, you have stayed long on this mountain. I want to declare to you, sis, bros, you have stayed long on that mountain. That's your place. That's your position. Don't be conversant. Don't be comfortable with that kind of life. You can elevate. You can level up. There is a next level. There is a next assignment. There is something you can achieve if you pay attention. Now, there is nothing holding you back in life than yourself. There is nothing. You see, I tell people, anybody that can take away your joy is in control of your life. That's why anything that will try to play around my joy, my peace, because you can't have peace without having joy. They go hand in hand. I will look at it critically and I will remove it. I tell you the truth. If I can't remove it, I remove myself from that situation. Because you can remove yourself from certain situations. Now, if there is an ongoing gap between where you are and where you want to be, and your efforts to close it are consistently met with your own resistance, pain, and discomfort, self-sabotage is almost always at work. Self-sabotage. You know what you mean by self-sabotage? Things that limit you. Things that tell you you can't be this person. You can't. Things that are in your past that will always bring their ugly heads to remind you where you are coming from. Things that will tell you you dropped out of school. Things that will tell you you had a child out of wedlock. Things that will tell you you messed around. Things that will tell you this, that. They are self-sabotaging thoughts. As we go in, we will look at self-sabotage is not always obvious at the outset. You will not notice it is self-sabotage. You will not even notice it. It's so subtle. You will think it's the norm. You will think it's normal, but it's not normal. Self-sabotage is a coping mechanism. Some people use it to cope, especially when they have discomfort, when they have pain. They use it as coping strategy, mechanism. Self-sabotage comes from irrational fear. Many of us are afraid of what I don't know. They are afraid of the unknown. They are afraid of what people will say. They are afraid of their surroundings. They don't want to dare. I want you in 2025 to dare. 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 You will see that what you are afraid of is afraid of you. I tell you the truth. Self-sabotage comes from unconscious negative association. I tell people, monitor who is in your space. Self-sabotage comes from what's unfamiliar. Don't look for all the things that are familiar. You can venture into real estate. You can venture into writing. You can venture into this business. You can venture into agriculture. I saw John Dumelo. I think that's his name, John Dumelo. I think he's from Ghana. He's an actor, one tall, handsome guy. He said that the money he's making from acting is not enough, so he ventured into agriculture. He was showing us mellow foods. You can venture into those things. You can venture into soap making. You can venture into spice making. You can, John Dumelo, yes. You can venture into so many things. Don't allow the society to keep you, or they tell you nobody will buy from you. You see, some people will say they don't have markets. There are plenty markets. If you have substandard one, you have people that will buy. If you go to Balogun, Lagos, for example, you may get a lace of 5,000, a lace of 5 years at 5 million naira. You may get a lace of 5 years at 2.5 million. You equally get a lace of 5 years, 100,000. You can get a lace of 5 years, 20,000. You can get a lace of 5,000 naira, 5 years, 5,000. Men are in sizes and life is in phases. Don't allow you to shortchange you from moving into the kind of life you want to live because you are afraid. We call such fear self-sabotage. Fear. Then self-sabotage comes from belief system. And then we deal with how to get out of denial. Many of us deny that things are not the way they are supposed to be. They live in denial. Now, let's continue. On the surface, self-sabotage seems masochistic. It appears to be a product of self-hatred, low confidence, or a lack of willpower. These are things, we are talking about self, the mountain is you. We are trying to break loose from what has been holding us. We are trying to, when a chick, lays egg, you can't go to help that chick to hatch that egg you can't help that chicken to hatch that egg. If you do, there will be problem. Or you see a cocoon where a butterfly wants to come from. You go to pick it, punch it, because you want to help the butterfly to come out. That butterfly will be disfigured. You allow it to go through the natural process. I want you to look at yourself. You are fearfully and wonderfully made in the image of God. You are God's masterpiece. You are called to be like God. When God created every other thing he created, he was saying, and God said, and God said, and God saw. But when it came to creation of human beings, he knew that he needed the companion of the Godhead himself, Jesus, and the Holy Spirit. He said, let us create, let us create man in our own image, after our likeness. I want you to look at yourself now and begin to think yourself as a God. Some people say, no, I don't want to be seen as a God. The Bible said, ye are gods. and you are the children of the Most High. One of the first, one way you have to move out of this self-sabotaging thoughts is to believe that you can. Who says you cannot? Who says you cannot? You can fly first class. You can fly business class. Those people that fly first class, look at them. They didn't have 3 ears, 1 ear here, 1 ear here. They have 2 ears, 2 eyes. The only thing is that they have more money than you at the point you were buying the ticket. If you have money to buy first class, don't feel you are spending money unnecessarily. No, that is self-sabotage. When you refuse to live in your level, there is a level you have left. There is a level of deprivation that you left. Don't go back there, because the society feels if you have comfort, you are being pompous or you are being proud. That's self-sabotaging. If you are getting value from what we are discussing tonight, I want you to type a 444 in the chat. And if you are joining us for the first time, this is Great Life with Dr. Afoma, and Great Life airs every Sunday evening, 8 p.m. Nigerian time. Great Life is a program of Healthy Race Ministry International, and Healthy Race is that ministry God gave Dr. Afoma in the year 2017. In 2018, he gave us another program on Cook Food Challenge. And in 2019, 22nd day of September 2019, he told me to begin this program. And he gave it the name himself. He said, call it Great Life with Dr. Afoma. And I declare to us, you can live a great life. You can live a life of fulfillment. You can live a life that is optimal. You can live a life irrespective of what things around you are saying. You can live above the standards set by the society. Because the very people that will say, Hosanna, Hosanna, will be the very people that will say, crucify him. If you die in some relationships, people will talk. If you stay there and you did not die, people will still talk. You see how people are talking about Salome, this young girl that was butchered. Because, don't know, that man may be eating flesh. Because the way they said he packaged the meat is something worrisome. So you see, on the surface, self-sabotage seems so masochistic. It appears to be a product of self-hatred. We have been brought up to know that in our community, a woman or a man can't be happy without the wife being part of it or the husband being part of it. It can be as a result of low self-confidence. Many of us, you see us, we are fine, we are beautiful, we are handsome, but we lack self-confidence. We don't have good self-image because of the traumatic experiences of our childhood. We were growing up, we saw our father beating our mother. And by the time you grow up, a man will be maltreating you, you think it is normal because you saw it happen and your mother stayed put. When Joyce Meyer, when the father was abusing her sexually, the mother knew, but she kept quiet. If we have delved further into Joyce Meyer's mother, her own mother, herself may have been abused by her own father. There is what we need to stop in 2025, and that is negative pattern. Anything that is negative, try and stop it. Please try and do that. Let's go ahead. In reality, self-sabotage is simply the presence of an unconscious need that is being fulfilled by self-sabotaging behavior. Unconscious need, the presence of unconscious need that is being fulfilled. So what need are you fulfilling unconsciously? Many people are doing business in China. They go to China. They may not even go. Look at what they have there. We have agents there. They tell you what they have. You give them money. They ship it to you. Some people are afraid. They will eat my money. They will take my money away. They will eat my money. And I want to tell you, in 2025, if you don't dare to make money, you see, things are getting higher, more expensive by the day. The only thing you need is to create multiple ways, sources of making money, so that even if they sell fuel, 1,005 per liter, you fill your tank and you will go. But if you have only one stream of income and you are earning maybe 300,000 per month, it will be difficult for you, because the Bonvita you used to buy for your children, 900 gram Bonvita you used to buy for them at 5,000 before, you may go to market now, it's sold at 12,000. Now, to overcome this, because what we are here to do, we are not here to talk. We must give an insight into what to do to reclaim what we have lost. In reality, self-sabotage is simply the presence. It is there. The presence of an unconscious need that is being fulfilled by self-sabotaging behavior. To overcome this, what will you do? We must go through a process of deep psychological excavation. We must pinpoint the traumatic events, release unprocessed emotions, find healthier ways to meet our needs, reinvent our self-image, and develop principles such as emotional intelligence and resilience. This is the way to overcome it. I'll take it again. To overcome this self-sabotaging, it is masked. I didn't come with scarf. It is masked. When people wear mask, you may pretend that it's not there, but it is there. Something is limiting you. Something is limiting you. Some people, you want to go to school. To go and do what? To go and do what? And you just shy away. You stay. And it is you have desire to go and get at least one more degree. That will help you. So to overcome this, we must go through a process. It has to be a process. People want to arrive at a destination without going through process. During last week, University of Lagos, I think they held their convocation. I don't know whether it's 57 or 50. I didn't pay attention very well. But I saw many people that posted their picture, maybe master's degree, first degree, PhD. One man was all over the place. He had a PhD. I asked somebody, how do you identify a master's degree student from a first degree and a PhD student? He said he doesn't even know. I said, look, when you see somebody from University of Lagos, for example, I don't know about other universities, that wears just a cap, that graduation cap, and the gown, there is no strap on the gown, on the hand of the gown. It's a first degree. If that person has that cap and on the gown, you see two straps, maybe University of Lagos, I think is red upon yellow. No, yellow upon red. When the straps are two, it is a master's degree. Showing you degree number 2. First degree, second degree. Then for PhD, the cap is not like that. The cap of the PhD is round. It's roundish in nature. And then the strap will be 3. 1, 2, 3. Showing you first degree, second degree, and third degree. Anybody you see the gown, you can say, oh, this person is graduating with a master's degree or a PhD. If you are getting value, please can you indicate by typing a 555 on the chat. Thank you once again for joining us. My name once again is Self-Sabotage Afoma, and by God's grace, I have a PhD from the University of Lagos 14 years ago. During my master's degree in Unilag, you know, the students will be seated. So when the lecturers and the PhD students were coming into the hall, that my friend is dead now. What's her name? Mary. So I just sat with Mary. You know, when they will be coming in, everybody must stand up. So we just stood up and they were just walking in. The lecturers, everybody will wear their regalia. Any university you came from, you wear their own keneko. So the students, the PhD students will come after them. So as the lecturers, one of our lecturers, I won't want to call her name, she has, you know, when she walks with energy. So when she was just walking in, I tapped that Mary. I said, Mary, I'm targeting that cab. I'm targeting that cab. He said, which cab? I said, that PhD cab. He said, now what for you, Favor? I said, I will wear this cap. Fortunately, after that hour, Mary died. Did I wear that cap? Sure. That same hall, I wore it. So you see, don't allow anybody or anything to tell you cannot. You see, cannot, throw away cannot out of your life. You may be a lecturer. Somebody will tell you cannot engage in a business. You can. I have seen people that engage in business without bringing a kobo into that business. People will give them goods, they sell, they take their money, they take their gain, they pay. They pay. Now, it is no small task. I'm telling you, it is no small task. And yet, it is the work that all of us must do at one point or the other. Except you tell yourself the truth that you see this position, you see this situation, I am angry at it. Even the Bible said, the kingdom of heaven suffered violence, only the violence, and only the violent take it by force. Afoma Wiest, I took my destiny violently. That's why you are listening to me. God will not do for you what you can do for yourself. I tell you, God will not do for you what you can do for yourself. I looked at my situation. I said, I am more. I can do more. I can become more. And I began to ask questions. The last money they paid me on my paid employment was 32,200. They started paying me from that school 23,800, but it was okay for me at that time. But can I go and sit down and they pay me that kind of money? I can't do that again. I have elevated. I have gone to the next level. There is something I will do in my house. I will make 100 of that money. I tell you the truth. Now, self-sabotage is not always obvious at the outset. You won't see it. There is a psychologist, his name is Carl Jung. He had an accident and it hit his head on the floor because he wanted, and he used that as an excuse to always want to be out of school. Do you have children when they were young? They will always look for reason not to go to school. Mommy, I have headache. My stomach I have running stomach. I won't go to school. It is not always obvious at the beginning. So that man, every time he began to have fainting spells, and anytime he has it, he will correlate it with not going to school. That is what is happening to some of us. Because you have to try something and failed, anytime you come, it's failure that you see. I want you to think I will succeed. I did business in bottle. It did not work. I'm going to do on viral. If it did not work, I'm going to do on glass case. If it did not work, I'm going to do on diary. Just make sure that you are resilient. Just make sure that in 2025, you say, no, I'm breaking out of this quagmire. You did a business, so suddenly that business didn't work. Will you go there now and say, every time you are soliloquizing? No, you look for something else to do. You move. God made human beings for movement, and you must move. Now, likewise for many people, their fears and attachments are very often just symptoms of deeper issues for which they do not have any better way to cope. And in this program, the essence of it is for you to learn how to cope and to be more. And to, it's like we want to break the bottle and release somebody out of it. It's like you have been caged. You come out of the cage. You come out of the cage. Now, the first one is self-sabotage is not always obvious. You don't notice it. It is like it's not there, but it's deep down inside there. So what is that thing in your life that is self-sabotaging you? Is it because your husband called you failure? You did business in provision store, did not work. So you refuse to do business again because you don't want him to badmouth you. I want you to begin to change that narrative. The second one, self-sabotage is a coping mechanism. Self-sabotage is what happens when we refuse to consciously meet our innermost needs, often because we did not believe we are capable of handling them. You don't believe that you are capable of handling it. When I went for my PhD, no, where do I start? When the Lord asked me to go back to school, when the man that and the woman, a couple, they were giving me goods on credit to sell in trade fair. That was in 2003. When the man later had issues because he didn't manage his wealth well. He's living too large. He doesn't take care of his health. When the wife is big, he's big. So the man is dead now. So when he was living large, I will tell them, please give me goods on credit. They will give me, I will sell, take the profit, go and give them the money. That was what we were doing until he had issue with the bank because he had a lot of money he took from the bank. By the time his health began to go down and he didn't take care of his health, he had stroke. By the time you know it, he died. Now, when I was thrown, I was put behind, in between the deep Red Sea and the dragon. I don't know what to do. But I will always remember the Lord will tell me, move forward, move forward. How do I move forward? I don't have money to buy goods. You see container of goods, land, people with money. You see them carrying, it's not now that we are doing cashless most of the time. People will carry money in Ghana must go. Those of us that don't have money, we just go by the side and be looking at them. But even at that point, I knew that something in me will rise one day. I knew that something in me will get up one day because at that point, I only had my first degree. And when I was praying, the Lord told me, go back to school for the assignment you will do for me. Am I going to school? Have I eaten? I have not eaten. We're traveling to school. And I was asked to go to University of Lagos. Do I have anybody there? I don't have. I just went to buy form. I went with 5,000. They say form was 7,200. I worked they go until I met a friend. He said, what did you come to Unilag to do? I said, I came to buy form. The form was not, it was 7,500, 7,200. He said, how long will you be here? I said, I'm taking this woman to the Faculty of Arts. He said, can you stay here up to 1 hour? I can go and get you that money. So he went, got the money. I bought the form. I came to the house. I was dancing. Many of us are so afraid because we did not dare. I dared it. And today I have a master's degree and I have a PhD. I did not have any money in the bank. I'm telling you gospel truth. But because God said, go back to school, I obeyed. Many of us can't obey God because we are afraid that we'll fail. It is better you fail and fail into his hands than not trying at all. If you are joining us for the first time, this is Great Life with Dr. Afoma. And Great Life airs every Sunday evening, 8 p.m. Nigerian time. Great Life is a program of Healthy Race Ministry International. And Healthy Race is that ministry God gave Dr. Afoma in the year 2017. In 2018, he gave us on Cook Food Challenge, where we take care of ourselves, our health. Somebody saw me yesterday and said, you are looking so trim. I said, yes, I know. Intention. I don't eat anything. I don't eat anything. I'm telling you, I don't eat anything. I don't eat anything I see. If I tell you all through this festive period, I didn't taste anything that's in bottle that's not water. Because I want to age gracefully. I don't want to age gigantic, janjatic way. The choices you make today, you will see them tomorrow. What you are seeing today is not what I'm doing now. It's what I did yesteryears. What you will see tomorrow is what I'm doing now. Now, self-sabotage is a coping mechanism. Sometimes we sabotage our relationships because what we really want is to find ourselves true, is to find ourselves, though we are afraid to be alone. You know, there is a season in your life you have to be alone. You can't find yourself when you are in the crowd or when you are in a crowd of people. There must be a time of seclusion. There must be a time of setting yourself apart. Think about your life. Think about, maybe they have said you can't do something. Do you know what I never imagined in my life I have done? Now people are trying by all means to dig borehole in my community. My community, some people did, you know, sparingly. Rich people, if I'm telling you, rich people, not somebody like me. I'm not too rich, but because I have it in my heart to do something that is spectacular. Now it's dry season in my place. And people will fetch water. They will drink that water and they will say, Chineke gozie Afoma. What is that thing the Lord has laid in your heart to do? If I tell you I'm the first woman to dig a borehole in my community, I may not be lying. I stand to be corrected. I tell you the truth. A woman which no husband stood by you. I tell you. So I don't know what is holding you. I don't know what they have said concerning you. I don't know what society you find yourself in is saying concerning you. I want you to break that jinx and become all that God wants you to become. Sometimes we sabotage our professional success because what we really want is to create art, even if it will make us seem less ambitious by society's measures. You see me, when I wanted to buy, I was in a network marketing company, they told us they would give us a car if we meet certain targets, and I met the target. And when they told us they would give us car, many people say, 1.8 million. No, they will go to Cotonou and use it to buy Tokumbo. That Tokumbo is 800,000. They will use the money and then buy products. So when it came to me, they asked me, Doctor, what will you do? I said, see that brand new car, I will drive it. I will drive it. By the time you say Jack Robinson, dollar went up, I think from 100 to 200. The value of the car went up. So they say we must put the balance. Pressure wanted me to follow them to Cotonou. I said to myself, hey, I want to drive a brand new car. You see, one of the ways you do certain things is to voice it out to somebody. Let somebody be accountable. Let somebody become your accountability partner. So I have said it to my daughter. I want to drive a brand new car. I've been driving cars, but they are all Tokumbo. I said, I want to drive a brand new car. So when the pressure wanted to take somebody was telling me, there are beautiful Sienna, this one. You know what my daughter told me? My daughter said, Mommy, you have always said you wanted to drive a brand new car. Mommy, wait. Because I needed to get funds from people. And I went to get that car. The day I entered that car, destiny turn around, number one. After that brand new car, those of you that follow me on Facebook, I gave that brand new car to a man of God and the wife. And that was the car he used to carry me on the 8th to the funeral. Then the next one, I made money. The company I am in, they don't give cars, but you can use your money and buy. And I went back. Did I go to self-sabotage myself? Or at a point, one of my sons said, Mommy, how much is the car? I said 12 million. Then he said, Mommy, it's too much now. It's too much. How can you buy 12 million car? It's too much now. You can buy small car. But I said, lie. By the time I went for that 12 million, they said they don't have it available. That what they had was 10.8. I went for that 10.8. See this, my car. I took it to where I bought it last December to service it. The moment I drove in, the workshop manager came and said, Doctor, this your car is always clean and neat. I said, because I only have one and I have to keep it well. When I told them to check the exhaust, they checked it, they say nothing is wrong with it. The only thing they worked on was, the sensor. If you are driving towards an object, it will start beeping, beep, showing you that you are approaching either human being or something. Somebody hit me and that thing was just blowing like that. They identified it. They came to me. They told me, we identified something. I said, I know. So they changed it. They washed the car. I don't go to roadside mechanic. It is cheaper to go to them, but I chose not to. That man I gave that car in 2021. I asked him this year, that car, does that car give you trouble? He said, no. The only thing I noticed that the AC wasn't using the AC. The inside the vehicle is dusty. But he said the engine doesn't give him trouble. So don't you ever want to be slowed down by what societal measures. Sometimes we sabotage our healing journey by psychoanalyzing our feelings, because doing so ensures we avoid actually experiencing them. Sometimes we sabotage our self-talk, because if we believed in ourselves, we will feel free to get back out in the world and take risk. If I had not taken the risk I took in February 2020, you won't see me here. You won't see me here. And that water people are drinking, thanking God, they won't be drinking it. So you have to tell yourself, always affirm yourself. I am born great. There's something, maybe I will see it and show us. I got that thing from a book a lady gave me. I pasted it on my bedside. In a day, I may read it 100 times. And that thing began to resonate with my spirit. Yeah, I still have it. I will bring it and show us. I'll bring it and show us. I will send it to one of us. Maybe next week she will put it. She will put it on the chat. People will copy it. Just print it. I printed it boldly. I gave it to all my children. And that was part of the self-talk, because you can't remain where you are and you want to be up. It's not done. Your mind must change. There must be a mindset shift. If there is no shift, pray from now to Jesus comes the second time. Nothing will change. Go and let them lay hands on you. Fall down, receive. I have done all those. You fall on the ground. You get up. You remain the same. But when you do what I want you to do now, I have done it. You will see yourself coming out effortlessly, but following the process. It may not be quick, but you know that you are advancing. You are advancing, you are advancing, you are advancing. Now, finally, sometimes we sabotage our self-talk because if we believe in ourselves, we will feel free to get back into the world and take risk, and that will leave us vulnerable. If you are not, if you want to be careful in your life, you won't go anywhere. You want to be careful. Holy wedge. You want to do it. You don't want to offend anybody. You see, you must offend people. Offending people doesn't mean stepping on them. You must offend people by refusing to remain where they kept you. You tell yourself, I can't remain in this same situation. I can't remain like this. I refuse to be what that name they have given you, never do well. In 2025, you tell yourself, call yourself by your name and tell yourself, I'm moving forward. If you are getting value from what we are discussing, can you please indicate by typing a 555 as we round off? In the end, self-sabotage is very often just a maladaptive coping mechanism, a way we give ourselves what we need without having to actually address what that need is. Don't self-sabotage yourself. Don't always want to find an easy way of doing things. Many of us did well in the business we did years back because we put effort. You see me, my late sister said to me one day, is this what you do? People that go to 9 to 5 jobs, we think they work harder than you. I'll be awake till 2 a.m. That time, I didn't have this laptop, only my Infinix phone. I will be on the phone like this. I will read. I will read. I will study. I will study. I will study. Many of you know now, Tuesdays, Fridays. Tuesdays, I talk on business. Fridays, I talk on health. You know, so I worked hard. Many of us are too lazy. They want prophecy. I'm not saying prophecy is not good, but after prophesying, you must take action. But like any coping mechanism, it's not a solution, and it does not ever truly solve the problem. We are mainly numbing our desires and giving ourselves a little taste of temporary relief. We will stop here. I want us to take this thing, J. We just took 2 today. Self-sabotage is not always obvious at the outset. Then self-sabotage is a coping mechanism. Next week, we'll do the next one. Self-sabotage comes from irrational fear. Irrational fear. What are you afraid of? We will see that next week. God bless you. God honor you. This is Dr. Favour. Afoma is reaching you live from Lagos State. This program is Great Life with Dr. Afoma, and it airs every Sunday evening, 8 p.m. Nigerian time. You know, some people will find it difficult to think because they want easy way out. Money doubling way. With a 500,000, they will give you 10,000. Bring 20,000, they will give you 40,000. You can dabble into it and succeed, but I want to tell you, for you to have a lasting something, you must put effort. There must be a process before the product. God bless you. If you got value, please can you indicate by typing in 777 or you write value. Thank you for joining us. See you next Sunday by God's grace. Please don't lose hope. Join us and make sure you are with us. You see, what I have in my hand is Kindle. Many of us don't even know what is Kindle. This was given to me by my daughter, I think 2 years ago, as a Christmas gift. Kindle is like a book. This book I'm sharing with us, I'm reading it from here because she downloaded it inside here. You can have up to 10,000 books in here. So I'm reading it, but I read it and I make notes. You see? So you may not know it. These are things you have to advance your life. If you come to my house now, I have tablets, I have iPhone, I have Kindle, I have MacBook Air, I have this, I have this. It wasn't like that before. It was just infinite phone, but I know I'm getting there. Thank you so much. God bless you. God honor you. See you next Sunday by God's grace. Remember, nobody has any right to keep you down except you. There is nothing that will stop you but yourself. God bless you and do have a fantastic night rest. Remember, my name is Molisa Favour Afoma. You can visit my YouTube channel, Dr.Favour Afoma Molisa. There are other interesting things you will find there. It's not because I'm the person saying it. I go there to listen to me. At a point, my daughter will jokingly say to me, Mommy, you like hearing your voice? I say, yes, I want to hear what I said. So thank you so much. See you next week by God's grace. I love you, and that's why I want you to succeed. Your success is important to me. Much value. Thank you, Doc, for a great section. Please don't miss it. Every Sunday, make sure you join us. Thank you, and do have a fantastic night rest. Bye.